Have you ever looked at your life and thought, I should be further ahead by now? Maybe someone your age already has the career you wanted. Maybe someone younger than you seems to have achieved things you are still trying to figure out. Maybe you open social media and suddenly feel like everyone is moving forward, while you are standing still. You start asking yourself, am I falling behind? Did I waste too much time? Should I have done more by now? And the hardest part is, you may actually be trying. You are learning. You are working. You are doing your best. But somehow, it still feels like everyone else is ahead of you. The truth is, the feeling of falling behind is not always a sign that you are failing. Sometimes it is a sign that you are measuring your life with someone else's timeline. Your brain is constantly looking for proof. And when you compare yourself to others, it usually finds exactly what hurts. You see someone's new job, someone's relationship, someone's success, someone's big life change. But you do not see everything that happened before that moment. You do not see their uncertainty, their mistakes, their failures, their years of trying things that did not work. You are comparing your everyday life to someone else's visible moments. And that comparison is almost impossible to win. Imagine walking through a neighborhood at night. You look at different houses. One has beautiful lights. One has a perfect garden. One has a warm family dinner inside. From the outside, every house looks peaceful. But you cannot see what is happening behind those windows. You cannot see the problems, the arguments, the worries, the things people are quietly dealing with. Life works the same way. You see the outside of someone's journey, but you experience the entire story of your own. That is why comparison feels so painful. Because you are comparing different things. You are comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight. Another reason you feel behind is because you have an invisible timeline in your mind. Maybe you believed that by a certain age you should have a better career, more money, a house, a relationship, a clearer purpose. And when your life does not match that picture, your brain creates a painful conclusion. I am late. But late compared to who? There is no universal schedule for becoming successful. There is no age where everyone is supposed to have everything figured out. Some people discover their direction early. Some people change careers in their 30s, 40s, or later. Some people spend years rebuilding after difficult experiences. Some people take longer because they are building something that actually fits who they are. A slower path does not mean a wrong path. Sometimes moving slowly is how you avoid building a life you never wanted. The problem is that when you feel behind, you stop noticing your own progress. You only look at the distance between where you are and where you want to be. You see what is missing. You see what has not happened. You see what you have not achieved. But you forget to look back. Think about who you were 5 years ago. What did that person not know? What challenges did that person struggle with? What things can you handle today that once felt impossible? Maybe you became stronger. Maybe you learned how to protect your peace. Maybe you walked away from something unhealthy. Maybe you became more patient. Maybe you kept going during a time when giving up felt easier. Not all progress is visible. Some of the biggest changes in life happen quietly. They do not come with awards. They do not appear in photos. They are the moments where you become someone who can handle more than before. So how do you stop feeling behind? First, stop asking, why am I not where they are? Ask, am I closer than I was before? Because your real competition is not other people. Your real comparison is between your current self and your past self. Second, stop creating deadlines that do not belong to you. A lot of pressure comes from expectations you never chose. Someone else's definition of success. Someone else's timeline. Someone else's idea of what a good life should look like. But your life does not need to follow a schedule created by someone else. You are allowed to build a different path. Third, focus on the next step instead of the entire distance. When you feel behind, the future can feel overwhelming. You look at everything you still need to do, everything you have not achieved, everything you think you missed, but nobody moves forward by solving their entire life at once. They move forward by taking the next step. One conversation, one decision, one habit, one small action. A person climbing a mountain does not stare at the top every second. They look at where to place their next foot. That is how progress happens. Slowly, quietly, consistently. And finally, remember this. Speed is not the same as success. Some people move quickly because they already know where they want to go. Some people move slowly because they are still discovering what matters. Some seasons of life are about growing. Some seasons are about recovering. Some seasons are about preparing. Not every season is meant to produce visible results. A tree does not grow above the ground all year. There are seasons when the roots are growing deeper. And those seasons are still progress. So if you feel behind right now, pause and remember. You are not competing against everyone around you. You are building a life that only you can build. Someone else's success does not mean you failed. Someone else's timeline does not mean yours is wrong. You are not late. You are not finished. You are still becoming. Look at your own path. Notice how far you have already come. Then take the next step. Not 10 steps. Not the entire journey. Just the next one. Because sometimes the person who feels the furthest behind is actually someone who has been quietly growing the most. This is human in progress. Not perfect. Just getting better, one step at a time.